Have you ever felt your anger take control, making you say or do things you later regret? Controlling emotions is one of the greatest challenges we face, yet Islam gives us powerful guidance to master it. From the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the patience of the Prophets alaihi salam and the wisdom of the companions, Razi Allah Ta'ala anhu, there are practical and spiritual steps to calm the heart, respond with wisdom, and earn Allah's pleasure in every moment of anger. Anger is not just an emotional reaction, it is an inner fire that slowly damages the heart and mind. When anger is left unchecked, it builds resentment, hardens the soul, and weakens a person's ability to think clearly. Many times, anger pushes a person to say words or take actions that later become a source of deep regret. This inner burning does not disappear after the moment passes. It leaves behind restlessness, guilt, and broken relationships. Islam warns against allowing anger to settle in the heart because it opens the door to many other sins. Controlling anger is not only about protecting others from harm, but also about saving one's own heart from long-term spiritual and emotional damage. Islam redefines strength in a way that goes beyond physical ability or dominance over others. A person may appear powerful on the outside, yet be weak when emotions take control. True strength is shown when someone faces provocation, injustice, or disrespect, and still chooses restraint over reaction. This kind of strength requires discipline, awareness, and a deep connection with faith. It means mastering the self instead of being mastered by impulses. When a person controls anger, they protect their dignity and character. Islam honors those who remain calm under pressure because such control reflects maturity, wisdom, and trust in Allah's guidance rather than surrendering to momentary emotions. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam provided clear guidance on dealing with anger through his words and personal example. He did not encourage suppression that leads to bitterness, but conscious control that prevents harm. His teachings focused on awareness at the moment anger appears, before it turns into action. He showed that anger is a test of character and faith. By advising believers to pause and recognize their emotional state, he taught that immediate reactions often lead to injustice. His approach trained the heart to respond with wisdom rather than impulse, reminding believers that emotional discipline is a form of worship and a means of earning Allah's pleasure. Seeking refuge in Allah at the moment anger arises shifts the heart from reaction to remembrance. This act acknowledges that not every emotion comes from within, and that some feelings are whispers meant to disturb inner balance. Turning to Allah creates a spiritual barrier between the emotion and the response. When a person seeks Allah's protection, the mind begins to slow down and regain control. The heart finds calm through dependence on divine help rather than personal will alone. This practice trains the believer to respond with faith during emotional storms, strengthening reliance on Allah and reducing the power of sudden emotional impulses over daily behavior. Remaining silent during anger is a powerful form of self-restraint that protects a person from lasting harm. Words spoken in anger often escape without thought, yet their impact can remain long after emotions fade. Silence creates a pause that prevents damage before it happens. This pause allows emotions to settle and reason to return. In silence, the heart gains time to reflect, and the tongue is saved from speech that could hurt others or invite sin. Choosing not to speak is not weakness, it is awareness. Through silence, a person preserves dignity, maintains respect, and avoids consequences that cannot be undone once words are released. Changing one's physical position during anger helps break the emotional momentum that fuels it. The body and emotions are closely connected, and remaining in the same posture can intensify agitation. A simple physical shift interrupts that pattern and weakens the grip of rising emotions. By moving away from the situation or adjusting posture, the mind receives a signal to reset. This change reduces tension, slows breathing, and creates mental distance from the trigger. It allows a person to regain balance without confrontation. Such a practical step shows that emotional control is not only internal, but also supported through mindful physical actions that restore calm and self-awareness. Making wudu during anger brings both physical calm and spiritual clarity. Water cools the body, and this cooling effect helps reduce the heat that fuels emotional intensity. As the hands, face, and limbs are washed, tension begins to ease, and agitation slowly fades. Beyond its physical benefit, wudu reconnects a person with purity and focus. It shifts attention from emotional disturbance to mindful action. This act reminds the believer of cleanliness, discipline, and presence before Allah. By engaging in wudu, anger loses its urgency, and the heart finds space to return to balance, awareness, and controlled behavior. The Quran places great value on those who restrain their anger and choose forgiveness over revenge. This teaching elevates emotional control to a moral excellence that earns Allah's love. Holding back anger is not ignoring injustice, but refusing to let emotions dictate behavior. Forgiveness frees the heart from carrying bitterness and grudges. It allows a person to move forward without being chained to past hurt. When anger is restrained, the soul remains light and receptive to mercy. Allah's promise of love for such people shows that emotional discipline is not a loss, but a gain that strengthens faith and inner peace. The Prophets alayhi salam are the greatest examples of patience and emotional control in the face of provocation. Despite facing rejection, insults, and even threats to their lives, they responded with wisdom and calm instead of anger. Their actions teach that true leadership and faith are shown through composure, not force. By observing their patience, we learn that emotional control is a sign of reliance on Allah rather than dependence on one's own power. Their restraint turned difficult situations into opportunities for guidance and mercy. Following their example inspires believers to respond to challenges with courage, dignity, and unwavering trust in Allah's plan. The companions, Razi Allah Ta'ala Anhu, demonstrated remarkable wisdom and emotional control in every situation, even when tested with injustice or personal harm. They understood that reacting impulsively could lead to regret or weaken the unity of the community. Their actions reflected a balance between courage and patience, showing that self-restraint is a sign of strong faith. By observing their behavior, we see how anger can be transformed into constructive action when guided by principles rather than emotion. Their ability to respond thoughtfully, speak wisely, and act with justice serves as a timeless model for managing emotions, maintaining dignity, and earning Allah's pleasure in everyday life. Anger clouds judgment and distorts perception, making even small issues seem larger than they are. When the mind is consumed by rage, decisions are driven by emotion rather than reason, often resulting in harmful words or actions. This lack of clarity can damage relationships, reputations, and one's own peace of mind. Unchecked anger also prevents a person from seeing solutions or understanding others' perspectives. It creates impulsive reactions that may later bring regret and guilt. Islam encourages believers to pause, reflect, and regain composure. teaching that a calm heart and clear mind lead to wiser decisions, stronger relationships, and a life aligned with Allah's guidance. Patience transforms the heart and brings inner peace, replacing the chaos anger creates. When a person chooses to respond calmly, it allows reason and faith to guide behavior rather than fleeting emotions. This restraint strengthens character and builds resilience against life's challenges. In Islam, patience is not passive. It is an active choice to trust Allah's wisdom and timing. By controlling emotions for the sake of Allah, a believer experiences a sense of tranquility, clarity, and spiritual reward. Over time, patience becomes a habit that shapes one's personality, fosters empathy, and opens the door to divine blessings, making the heart steady even in the face of trials. Controlling anger and emotions is a journey of patience, faith, and self-discipline. By following the guidance of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophets alaihi salam, and the companions Razi Allah Ta'ala Anhu, we can transform our hearts, respond with wisdom, and earn Allah's pleasure. May Allah grant us calm hearts and strength to control our emotions in every situation. Comment below, "O Allah, make me patient and gentle to make this prayer your own." Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Graceful Deen for more uplifting reminders.